Well, thank you indeed for staying with us here on the Farm Kenya show. My name is Peter Wakaba. Now, in this second part, of course, we get into a discussion with our expert, having laid the groundwork for all our conversation going forward, talking about pork, talking about pigs, talking about the entire husbandry and the ecosystem and the value chain, and of course, the getting this product from farm to market, from farm to fork. In studio, Ian Otuoma, he is an expert in this space. He is a veterinarian by training and also a consultant around food production. Karibu sana.
Asante.
Now, first off, before we speak about pork and pigs, are you a soccer fan?
Not really a soccer fan,
yes,
but celebrate the beating of Man City.
Anyway, yeah, we live to celebrate another day. Yeah. Of course, a lot of people feeling the ache, feeling the hurt, but yeah, we have to move.
Yes.
For most people, they look at the environments. They see pork centers, as they are called in various places. They see the sausages, they see the bacon, they see the various products, but they are rarely aware of the ecosystem that is behind all this, the hard work, the struggle, that sort of thing. So all this presents an opportunity,
yes,
for the various aspiring Kenyans out there to be able to make a living, cover niche for themselves. Talk to us about the potential behind this thing that we call pork when it's finished.
The potential is really high because with the increasing population, then a demand of protein, especially from animal sources, increases. So considering that pigs mature within a very short time compared to the likes of cows, then pork business is very, very lucrative.
So how long does it take a little pig to go from being just a teeny little baby piglet, yes, to adult, yummy?
Currently, yes, we are taking pigs at the age of 6 months.
From 6 months?
Yeah, from 6 months. That's a pig with around 70 to 80 kgs and can go to the market.
Done the right way.
Done the right way.
Yes. So then let's start now from the beginning. How do, if I want to get into this space, where do I start? How do I figure out whether I'm cut out for this sort of thing? What will it take? Where to start?
Number one, you have to understand the pig breeds.
Yes.
And now, depending on what you want to venture in, then you get the specific breed that you want. I'd go for a mixed production
unit, yes.
So that would be maybe a landrace or, so a landrace.
Yes. So I want to cut you short because you said something interesting.
Yeah.
So how do you figure out which of these to go to? Because for me, then it's, because we're looking at this as a business.
Yes.
So it then becomes, what is the market asking for?
Okay.
So what are the different ways of taking this to market? I know we've heard of farmer's choice.
Yes.
I know we've heard of local butchers. So what are the different aspects that we're looking at and what do they want?
So number one, if you're looking to sell your pigs maybe in farmer's choice, then you have to go specifically and ask them, what do you need from a farmer? What products are you producing?
Yes.
What can I bring in so as to give the product? So if it's just the local butchery, what is it interested in? It's interested in meat, then that's all. So if you're looking to the high-end market, such as big hotels, farmer's choice, then they have these specifics that they want. So
yes,
that
you must meet that quality standard.
Yes, and that's your starting point. So for back to the farm, then what do I need to do? If I'm capable to meet these needs, then how much am I willing or how much am I able to supply? So that brings you to the second question. How frequent will I supply?
So scale.
Yes. So how frequent will I supply to the market? How many pigs will be left in my farm? And how frequent will I reproduce them to meet the demand?
So essentially, you're looking at the amount of resources that you have.
Yes.
Vis-a-vis market demand.
Yes.
To create a balance so that you can be consistent in the market, right?
Yes.
Because again, we've also had that consistency enables you be at a place where the market keeps coming back to you.
Yes.
And you're able to operate as a business that actually churns out and rolls over this product.
Yes.
So how do we get to that then? How do I know that if I have 100,000 in my pocket, I can do maybe 3, 4, 5 pigs? How do I cost my structures? Where do I start? How do I create this equation that will get me going?
Basically, one, you look at your setting. So where am I situated? So if it's a place with high temperatures, then you have to consider the fact that pigs are not tolerant to heat. So you have to bring into account something like.
So you look at your land. If I could be Nukambani, but I mean, if I have the money, I can go to Nyandarua and rent a plot.
Yes,
that sort of thing. So find a place that's conducive.
Yes.
If it's not conducive, then work to make it conducive.
The other thing is now the structure. The structure needs the drainage, convenience to getting water, the feeds, the space within the piggery unit, and also it also requires the drainage of the place, because most of and also the environment. If it's in a bushy place, then we have things like rodents that bring in disease. So we have to put all this into consideration. Yeah.
So I have thought about what I want to do. I have thought about my size. I've thought about the space. I'm now ready to start. How do I get my little piggies? Where do I start? Do I simply find a person who has these things, chagua tano, bring them in? What about feeding? What about environment? Those sorts of things.
So number one,
yes,
get a reputable farmer. Go learn from him.
Yes.
It's more of apprenticeship, like we used to do in the olden days.
For how long?
It depends.
Yes.
With how fast you grasp your things and what line you want. So after getting a reputable farmer, see their structures. You can as well as adapt their structure into your farm.
Yes.
Then after that, go to your market. One thing I know for sure, for example, Farmer's Choice.
Yes.
They really offer good breeders. So you can source either from a reputable source, like the Farmer's Choice, or look for a farmer who is around your area that's really doing good.
So breeders in this case are pigs that will multiply.
Yes, pigs that will multiply and give you later.
Okay.
Yes.
That's interesting. So you're advocating that rather than because you see the chicken model is you go get what are they called, chicks, ukuje weke kwa brooder. So in this case, it's not the same for piglets. It's
similar because
you need to get a mother that will come and drop piggies.
Yes. Or alternatively, you can get offsprings from a mother that will give you the piglets.
Yes.
So most of the time, those who sell breeding pigs, they sell them at the weaning stage around 6 months, around 6 months and 8.
Yes.
Because the best time for breeding pigs, if it's the first time breeder, then for females, you do the breeding at around 8 months. Yes.
Wow, 8 months.
Yes, 8 months. Your pig should be ready to breed. If you have not brought it up so very well, then at the third sign of it, that's when you can do the breeding.
What about the males? You said for females.
Yes. So for the males, it's around 12 months. Why? It doesn't mean that they mature way later, but when they are younger than 12 months, the mating gives them trauma. They're not old enough to fathom.
Oh, really?
Yes. So pigs are very interesting. So the mating gives them trauma, psychologically and also physically.
Wow.
So your male pig ends up never wanting to mate again.
So you let him grow a bit.
You just
get the hang
let him
of things.
grow. Yes.
Okay, interesting. So you said they select good breeders.
Yes.
So essentially, pigs are just kept for meat, right?
Yes.
So why all the different breeds? Why all the different types? Why all the different considerations?
Okay, so I'll start with the number of pigs. For a profit-making enterprise, then you have to have numbers constantly.
Yes.
So you need a pig that won't stay for long in the farm, a pig that will give you as many offsprings and be able to take care of the offsprings
Yes.
to the winning stage.
To look after them.
Yes. And you'll also need a pig that will gain weight very fast. So then that one will now determine the choice of pig breed that you'll have.
So what are the different breeds out there, and what are they suitable for, and where?
So we have, in the Kenyan market, we have, the most common one is the Landrace. The Landrace is the most common one because it combines all these characteristics in one. It's a good mother, it's average in gaining weight, it gives good offsprings, it has good genetics.
So that's like what we are seeing on the screen.
Yes, that's a Landrace.
Yes.
So, but we have also tried to bring in new breeds and interbreed with this particular breed because we want these traits transferred from this breed to this other breed. So, interestingly enough, we have a pipe train. A pipe train is a golden-looking pig. It gains weight very fast, but it's not a really good mother. So what do? We combine the pipe train weight gaining to the Landrace so that the offsprings can come up super.
What if you simply got that one but created an environment where the kids can be excluded at will, so that the mother either doesn't squish them or eat them or one of those, right?
Well, it's also a very good idea,
Yes.
but you're also looking at the demand. So
Most people are used to.
No, not really are used to the Landrace, but if you have slow maturing pigs, you won't hit the market at the right time. The other thing, most people know pigs as white.
Yes.
This is a golden colored pig.
It will look strange.
So you can't go to a pork butchery and you find a golden
Or a black one.
or a black pig.
Yes.
You're like, oh my God, this is not.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, it's quite interesting to see that once you bring this in, and you said that you bring the females from around 8 months.
Yes.
Once the breeding happens, when can you expect your first litter?
After 160 days, if it's a successful breeding, after 160 days,
Yes.
you'll have your first litter.
So in the meantime, you can interact with a vet such as yourself to confirm whether it was successful or
Yes.
not.
Yes.
Okay.
So currently, most of the farmers, large-scale farmers, are moving to AI to try and reduce the cost of production of the male.
Yes.
See, a male it will be there for like 2 years.
He will keep eating. Yes.
But it's not really giving. Plus, when you want to sell it off,
Yes.
its quality will be lower than
Really?
what you have. Yes.
I thought the older they grow, the tastier they become.
No. Just
Yes.
like livestock. The older it grows,
Yes.
the tougher the meat becomes.
Uh-huh.
But for pigs,
Yes.
especially males, there's a tinge by testosterone.
Yes, the
That-
taste and the smell.
Yeah, the taste and the smell, which most customers don't really like.
Watu wengine wanasikia, wengine hawasikii.
Asky.
Yes.
The other downside of older pigs is that the older it grows, the more fat it gains.
So the composition.
Yeah, so the meat reduces, fat becomes more. And Farmer's Choice will tell you that this pig is too fat, it has a lot of fat, and it will have, its carcass will have a lower grade.
So we've also seen where when you have your little pigs and people castrate them, won't that also push up the amount of fat?
Generally, they do castrate the piglets, one, to prevent inbreeding, two, to remove the smell from the meat, and also it gives them space to grow. So within, they said 6 months, your pigs can be good.
So we've gone through all that. Let's talk about feeding.
Okay.
Because for me, that's also one of the most sticky issues.
Yeah.
Because people have to keep going to the commercial market for feeds, and feeds, because especially of the protein aspect, have become really expensive.
Yes.
People who have tried to experiment with their own formulations, but with mixed results.
Yes.
What would your advice be in this case, especially since we are treating this as a business? Is it find your capital, stick to one good brand of feed formulation, make your own?
Okay. So number one, I would love to restrict feeding of swill. What is swill? Swill is the leftover feeds. Because
chakula ya soko, chakula ya
chakula ya
hoteli.
soko ya hoteli.
Yes.
Because of the salt,
Ah,
it affects pigs.
okay.
Yes, so it reduces weight gain. It can also lead to mortality.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, a lot of people, and that's where most of the losses come in. They come in feeding. Number two, I'll also speak about.
Can I ask why? Why? What is it with salt and pigs?
So the salt we take, the sodium chloride, is a toxin to the pigs.
Ah, okay.
So it causes salt toxicity.
Okay.
In simple terms.
Okay.
Yeah. So
please continue.
In self-rationing, if you just do it locally, if you just do it without testing the protein levels and all that. So what you're interested in pigs when it comes to feeding is the protein levels, because you want it to build the meat
the
and
muscle.
also the fat. So if you don't if you ration your feed and you don't go get it tested for the ration percentages, then you might get a miss.
So you can actually test?
Yes. The University of Nairobi, Kabete campus, the school, has a facility in the animal nutrition department that tests for the rations, the components in feed, not only for pigs, also for chicken, for cows and all that. And most of the intensive farmers are really moving very fast towards self-rationing because it gives a better result.
So essentially what you're saying is once you buy these feeds, you can introduce your own, you measure your own aspects so that... how does it work?
You can buy the feeds from a source, but make sure you ask, what are the percentages, what are the components in this feed? Yeah. Also, you can get the bulk cereals, the bulk, and do your own feed.
Yes, which is actually what a lot of farmers are considering.
Yes, and when you consider that, then you have to go and look into the components. If I do this ratio to this ratio, what am I getting? You can also get an expert nutritionist.
Yes, to do the formulation.
To do the formulation for you.
So that at home you simply mix,
mix them.
2 kgs of this, 1 kg of this, and 1 kg of this.
The other downside of feed is the competition.
Yes.
Unlike Uganda, they have a lot of cereal because they don't consume much cereal as we do. So
wanakula matoke.
Wanakula matoke, mandizi sana sana. So for us, we do consume a lot of cereal. So what does it mean? Then the demand for cereal is so high that if I want to formulate, or rather...
You're competing with ugali.
Yeah, we are competing with ugali, we are competing with chapati, you're competing with Weetabix and of the sort. So that's the other downside of feeds.
We've heard about things like BSF and those sorts of things, the black soldier fly. Do you think those can start to ease some of the challenges we are seeing?
Yes, they can ease. But now, this now requires an addition to resource. So if I had put half an acre for my piggery unit, then I'll need to sacrifice another chunk. And before we get the quantities of the BSF, then takes some time.
Wow, okay. So we are almost at the close of the show and running out of time. I want us to talk about the market aspect because a lot of what we've talked about is governed by that.
Yes.
As people's palates get more cultured, we are seeing people like you experimenting with pork quite a bit, not just the frying that used to be. So what are the different ways that we can prepare pork, and of course the opportunity that this creates along the value chain for young people?
That's a very interesting question because part-time I do roast meat part-time.
Yes.
So there are there are many various ways that you can consume pork, starting from smokies, there are beef sausages, and also pork sausages. We have ham, but now that's on the prime cut aspect.
Yes.
On this other side, you can just have the normal pork choma.
Yes.
You can have, nowadays, because most of the pork getting to a market has a low fat content, then there's chemsha at some point. There's the normal meal we have in the house. So for young people, like I am, then you can now look to the niche that's in your area and try.
Yes.
Try do what you can, because there are lots of opportunities.
Yes. So the question a lot of people have been asking is about getting quality assistance from people such as yourself and other experts. Most people have to work with agrovets and that sort of thing because there are really no extension services in their spaces.
Yeah.
How do you find quality help? How do you identify the quacks from the experts?
I'll go back to where you started. You started by seeking advice from someone who has kept the pork, rather the pigs. The other place you can really get good help, Farmers Choice have these extension services that they do all around their trainings. Please attend the agricultural shows. You'll really learn a lot. And also once you get someone who will walk with you through the journey.
Okay. Asante sana. Unfortunately, out of time, but definitely quite interesting conversation. Of course, to remind our viewers that these shows will, of course, reside on the internet, on YouTube and our various other platforms from Kenya. So do look out for it. Give us your comments. We, of course, can look out for those and treat you to some answers at a later date. Of course, our experts always being available to give feedback based on whatever your questions are. But from us here today, it is Kwaheria Konana. It has been a blast. Do continue to enjoy the rest of your viewing. My name is Peter Wakaba. Kwaheria Konana. Asante.
Karibu.
Thank you very much for taking